tell us a little bit about your childhood growing up.
The faith was very prevalent in my life. I was homeschooled my entire preschool, grade school, middle school, high school. And one of the beauties of that was that I was able to devote part of my day towards religion, which you can get in a Catholic school. But it was a very real way for me to learn about my faith. And I grew a lot in the knowledge of my faith through that, but I didn't really grow so much in understanding why the faith was important. Because I grew up in a good Catholic family, I understood a lot about the Catholic faith, but the reason that I pursued it was more because it was just the cool thing to do. But at the same time, it was still a really good thing.
Since you said you were homeschooled, can you see the benefits from it rather than attending public school?
Yeah, so people ask me a lot, is homeschooling better than public schooling? It's got its benefits, it's got its disadvantages. It's like anything. The benefits were that I am very close to my family, and I understood from a very young age that they were there to support me, and I could really go to them for anything. I skipped over a lot of things that people in public school experience, bullying, whatever other types of negativity that can happen in a public school. I will say that there were times that I did wish for community that you do get in a public school setting. I can't say that I didn't miss that, but at the same time, I do very much appreciate that ability to grow with my family in that way, as well as getting school done and having that freedom to go outside and kind of do whatever I wanted and not have to do so much homework.
Did you hear about the Newman Center before coming to college?
I heard about it through the family, and part of the reason that I knew so much about it was kind of a family expectation that if I did come to NDSU, that the Newman Center would be a part of my college experience.
Did pressures of going to the Newman Center impact you positively or negatively?
Well, they could be called negative and they could be called positive. I was an abnormal freshman. I came to college and I got involved in the Newman Center right away. I was altar serving, I was coming to events, coming to Mass as often as I could. So that expectation that I would be a part of the Newman Center was a very good thing. It got me involved. However, it wasn't my own decision. So that's where the negativity could actually come in and play a part, is that it wasn't, I hadn't grabbed onto my faith for myself, but I was in a good place to have that opportunity to do that searching and to find that.
If you could narrow it down to one specific thing that most greatly impacted your spiritual growth that Newman offered, what would that be?
Well, the typical response would be the sacraments and Jesus in the Eucharist. That would be the typical response. And I will say that everything that the Newman Center has to offer, Mass, confession, adoration, spiritual direction, those are all very necessary for the soul. But what it really boils down to for me is community. Coming in as a freshman, I didn't have a very large knowledge of what it meant to grab onto your faith and to own it for me. And I had the opportunity to become friends with some upperclassmen, juniors and seniors that were going here to the Newman Center, and I just hit it off right away with them. And they took the time to have simple conversations with me, ask me how I was doing, invite me to not just Newman activities, but to a real community where it wasn't necessarily institutionalized. They were inviting me into their lives, into their faith, and that example of their faith to me was part of what has helped me grow in my own journey, because I have seen how they are very effectively pursuing their vocation. They are running after the Lord. They are desiring to grow in their faith, and they're juggling college and all of these other things at the same time. And that just seeing how they did that and them allowing me into their life to be able to run with them, and them running with me was something that if I didn't have, I would not be at the Newman Center today.
Any regular parish can have a community. What makes Newman Center any different from Holy Spirit, St. Anthony, or any other parish?
Your regular parish, it has a community aspect, but your communities differ. As a college student, we aren't married, or many of us aren't married. We're discerning our vocation. We're at a little different stage than a lot of other communities in the Catholic faith. We aren't, it's not the time to learn how to take care of kids or to teach our kids the faith. It's a time where we are searching out our vocation, while other churches, other parishes are very good at helping you grow in your faith. The Newman Center, it caters towards what college students need. A lot of times, coming from high school to college, that our high school catechism classes they're focused on, we get some apologetics, we have confirmation classes, we learn about our faith to some extent, but coming from high school to college, you get thrown into the real world. You get thrown into classes where your professors are atheists, where they're giving you books that deny the existence of God, and you have to read those books for class, you have to do those assignments, and you need to be able to grab onto your faith. And the Newman Center, it gives us those tools to answer those questions that we have in our hearts. The questions of, how do I love? How do I follow the Lord? Who is the Lord? What is the Catholic faith really? I have all of these, my roommate, my friends, the people that I go to school with, the people in my major say that this is what the Catholic faith is. What really is the Catholic faith? Those answers are here at the Newman Center throughout various different forms, through that spiritual direction, through formation nights.
A couple things you're excited about concerning the Newman Center's future.
I get a lot of people asking me, does the Newman Center really need a new building? Is it all about a new building to pull in more people? Well, yeah, you can say that. But I've found that it's not so much the glamour and the newness that's going to pull a person in as it is the ability for them to grow. And having a larger space is awesome. It means that we aren't constricted. Doesn't mean that we have to cram people into a little room for formation, or have troubles scheduling so many different things. So I'm very, very excited for the abilities, or not the abilities, but the opportunities that will come as a result of it.
How should we respond to negativity from the community and from NDSU?
First and foremost, you got to pray. I am a living example of a person who forgets time and time again to pray first. Asking the Lord for His blessing, asking the Lord what we're supposed to be doing, just inviting Him into our day, is huge. It's huge in everything you do. And so in response to any type of negativity, or even in response to positivity, pray. It's much, you might feel that it's important to pray more when someone hurts you, or when you're hurt, or when something bad's happened. It's more important to pray. Continue to pray during the good times, because you need those graces from the good times to help you with the bad times. And it's also very, very important that you keep an even, steady keel, because if you don't have a grounding in your faith, and then just a grounding in your own, in who you are as a person, that you're loved, that you're God's son or daughter, if you don't have that even grounding, that negativity is going to take you down. Responding to that, always in love. Always in love. There is such a thing as frustration and righteous anger, but it always has to stem from love. And a lot of times the negativity is, it's coming from hurt people. And you aren't going to get rid of negativity in the world by hurting someone even more.
Here's a chance for you to put your 2 cents in. Now, if there's a single thing a student should become involved in at Newman, what is that?
Get involved with as much as you can. As a college student, there are a lot of there's a lot of clubs that are vying for your attention. Your professors think that you need to do more school than you actually do. And even here at the Newman Center, everybody is saying, well, come do this, come do that, join a Bible study, be an altar server, help out with events, be a member of the Knights of Columbus. Those are all good things. And I would encourage any college student to be involved in any one of those things. What it boils down to is understanding what your time commitments are, but then also understanding that you need to be open. And being open to something doesn't mean that I have dreamed of being a part of music ministry since I was 9 years old, so I'm going to jump into music ministry. It means when I am offered a position, or offered a way to serve, to prayerfully consider it instead of just saying, no, I don't want to do that. Don't forget to take some time for the Lord, because He will bless you abundantly in that. Daily Mass is, you can't go wrong with daily Mass. Don't push off retreats or formation nights, or little half-day retreats where you can learn about your faith. Don't push those off saying, I can do those next year. I'm a senior. I did that a lot. I really regret it, because there's so much information. There's so much grace that you can receive from those. And the fact of the matter is that in college, you need all the grace and the love of the Lord that you can get. And the more that you allow Him to love you, the better your life's going to be.